I think the only person who's even remotely taken a risk like this was Canelo moving up to fight Bivol. A 7 pound difference. This is 40, 50 pound difference. I don't think people really want to risk losing or having a tough challenge or risk getting knocked out. But then essentially you're not even doing what the sport is. You're not giving the fans what they want in these massive fights. That's why KSI is scared. Tommy Fury's scared. That's why Tyson Fury and AJ haven't fought. Like, the list goes on of how many major fights haven't happened because of people being scared. I think it's watching his Dubois fight, watching the Ruiz fight, even watching the Usyk fight. And when you look at it, he's lost to guys who are smaller than him. I think it's his it's his weakness. It's his kryptonite is the faster guys who don't get hit by his big punches. He's definitely a bit chinny. He's durable. He gets back up. He knows how to fight when he's hurt, and he's still dangerous when he's hurt.
A lot of questions, blah blah blah. Only one my answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jack Paul, it's he's a sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat.
Everybody's in danger.
Yeah, you're correct. If Anthony Joshua won, Anthony killed this guy. Listen.
Jake isn't a YouTuber. Everyone needs to stop talking like Jake is a YouTuber. Jake is a boxer. Jake has more money than 99% of professional boxers on the planet. He has a full-time training camp. He lives with a full-time gym, full-time trainers. He's dedicated his life to this sport for nearly 7 or 8 years. That's a professional boxer. He's an ex-YouTuber. And this whole narrative, I'm just a YouTuber, is a really good sales tactic because Jake is a boxer and he is at heavyweight. So it's a heavyweight boxer against a heavyweight boxer.
Usyk didn't hold back and warned Jake Paul, saying AJ will kill this guy. The statement set the tone for one of boxing's most dangerous and talked about matchups. Jake Paul received yet another warning when Alexander Usyk, who had himself defeated Anthony Joshua twice, issued a chilling statement about the upcoming fight. Usyk warned that Joshua could seriously harm or even kill Paul if he chose to, revealing just how dangerous this matchup could be. The starkness of his words quickly drew attention across the boxing world, showing that this was no ordinary challenge.
I have nothing bad in mind.
Yeah. It's just true. It's business, more money. Only this.
So we need to pray for Jake Paul.
Yes. I will pray Jake Paul because I want fight with Jake Paul in octagon.
Alexander Usyk shared his approach to training with other fighters, specifically mentioning Anthony Joshua. He explained that he was willing to assist opponents in their preparation as long as it benefited both parties. While scheduling such sessions had been challenging in the past, Usyk noted that a 2-week joint training camp made it possible this time, with a strong emphasis on collaboration and professionalism.
If I can help my opponents, I help, but only if this have my opponents. For example, we speak with Anthony, say, hey bro, I have preparation. If you can come my camp, we training with you together. Oh, it's a good idea. But Anthony don't have time, might have. Now it's possible because I will with Anthony with camp 2 weeks.
Usyk further described his training with Joshua as focused and goal-oriented. He explained that both were engaged in specialized work to maximize their effectiveness, but stressed that the sessions were conducted together, reflecting their commitment to preparation. Yeah, we're training together. Anthony does special work, I do special work too, but we work together. Teamwork involved despite the intensity of the regimen. Many commentators in the sport dismissed the fight as a mismatch, calling it a circus or even a setback for boxing. Despite this, Andrew Tate offered a very different perspective. He argued that regardless of what the purists said, Jake Paul deserved respect for stepping up to a challenge that very few would dare to face. According to Tate, credit was due simply for the courage it took to enter the ring against someone of Joshua's caliber.
Huge respect to Jake Paul. I have nothing bad to say about Jake. Everything I was going to say, I can no longer say. So fair play to him. He's a brave man. He believes in himself. And I wish him and AJ a fantastic fight, and I hope they both come out without injury and without any problems and without any health issues. I really do have a lot of respect for, like, there was a time when Jake was really insulting me, and Logan Paul hated me, and all these things, and KSI insulted me, and Chase insults me, all these people insult me. I'm really just, you know, I'm just a normal dude. I have respect for people who do things that are worthy of respect. I harbor no hate in my heart. I wish Jake the absolute best.
Tate also pointed out that Paul had moved beyond being just an internet personality. He had crossed into the realm of a professional fighter, someone willing to risk his life against one of the strongest and most skilled boxers of this generation. To Tate, the criticism was trivial compared to the bravery Paul had shown, proving that he had no shortage of courage. Many agreed that stepping into this fight was a bold statement about Paul's seriousness as a boxer.
Jake isn't a YouTuber. Everyone needs to stop talking like Jake is a YouTuber. Jake is a boxer. Jake has more money than 99% of professional boxers on the planet. He has a full-time training camp. He lives with a full-time gym, full-time trainers. He's dedicated his life to this sport for nearly 7 or 8 years. That's a professional boxer. He's an ex-YouTuber. And this whole narrative, I'm just a YouTuber, is a really good sales tactic, because Jake is a boxer and he is at heavyweight. So it's a heavyweight boxer against a heavyweight boxer.
News of the fight spread quickly. Jake Paul, who held a 12-1 record with 7 knockouts, accepted the bout after his original opponent withdrew. Former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, with a 28-4 record and 25 knockouts, also agreed to the match, but under specific conditions: 8 3-minute rounds, 10-ounce gloves, and a weight limit of roughly 111 kilograms. The announcement immediately sparked excitement and debate, as fans eagerly anticipated this unlikely showdown. Tony Bellew, however, completely dismissed the idea of the fight. To him, it was beyond belief. He said he couldn't understand how anyone could seriously imagine Jake Paul standing across the ring from Anthony Joshua wearing 10-ounce gloves. Bellew called the concept pure madness, emphasizing that the moment Joshua landed a clean punch, Paul would experience a force unlike anything he had ever faced before. His reaction highlighted the huge physical risk involved in the matchup.
How can you believe it's going to happen?
Have you made peace with it? Because I've never seen someone so animated over this fight.
It's insane. It's madness, but no one can knock Josh because it's just madness. I can't get my head around it, mate. I just don't believe he is going to be in the ring facing Josh with 10-ounce gloves on. When he touches him for the first time with a pair of 10-ounce gloves on, he's going to get the fright of his life.
Bellew went on to explain that while the massive financial incentive made the fight understandable, it didn't make it any more logical from a competitive standpoint. He noted that in modern boxing, once fighters achieve their championship goals, the focus often shifts to the biggest paydays rather than purely sporting merit. Both men were clearly entering a deal that promised enormous financial reward, even if it didn't make sense in terms of traditional competition.
So, just take his
But
chin
you
off.
get why it's happening. I mean, as much as...
Of course I get why it's happening.
Yeah.
Of course. For that kind of money, you'd probably fight them both at once. But, you know, fair play to them. Get paid. I told you, once you've won the titles, your desires and your dreams are fulfilled in boxing. Boxing is purely about to make as much as you can, as quickly as you can. And this is ticking both them boxes off well. Well done to both. Fair play.
To show he was taking the fight seriously, Joshua even brought in Alexander Usyk to help with his training, proving that he was preparing as rigorously as he would for any major bout. Promoters announced that the event would generate an eye-popping payout, with the total purse reportedly around $140 million, split roughly evenly between the two fighters. Fans eagerly awaited the showdown, aware that the stakes, both physical and financial, were higher than in almost any other fight in recent memory. When the fight was discussed, Lamont Roach expressed his clear opinion on the matter. He believed that Jake Paul was stepping into extremely dangerous territory by taking on such a towering and seasoned opponent. Roach emphasized that very few fighters in history had faced someone with Joshua's credentials, a former unified heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist with years of experience competing at the highest level, making the challenge especially daunting.
Excuse me. My first thoughts was, this guy's crazy. Not gonna lie. But I get it. Coming from a guy who's not a true traditional boxer, and to be able to have a position where he can fight a former unified world champion, former Olympic gold medalist, and to do it on such a stage where Anthony Joshua is a superstar as well. I mean, like, he sold out the O2.
Lamont Roach believed that the physical and technical gap between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua was so large that Paul could face the same harsh reality that Francis Ngannou experienced in his own high-profile bouts. Yet, despite the obvious risks, Roach acknowledged the undeniable force of the event. The global attention, the enormous financial stakes, and the dramatic tension made this fight impossible to ignore. It was a spectacle capable of shaking the foundations of boxing itself.
I think he gets hurt, for sure. I think he gets obliterated, something close to like Francis Ngannou. I think something like that happens, and it's going to be bad for him. But there will be a lot of viewers. There will be a lot of viewers, and there will be a lot of money.
Fans and media alike were abuzz with discussion, some with excitement, others with apprehension. For many, the appeal was obvious. A blockbuster fight that nobody had predicted, huge financial stakes, and the potential to attract massive audiences to streaming platforms. For others, it represented a dangerous turning point in the sport, where entertainment and money risked overshadowing skill, merit, and the integrity of boxing. Eddie Hearn also weighed in as the headlines surrounding the proposed Joshua vs. Paul fight intensified. Speaking with both confidence and urgency, he explained why the match carried serious consequences for the heavyweight division. From a promoter's perspective, Hearn stressed that the mere possibility of Jake Paul defeating a former unified heavyweight champion would send shockwaves through the boxing world, changing perceptions of the sport and its hierarchy.
And on the what ifs, what if we wake up on the night after and Anthony Joshua is somehow on the end of a defeat? What does that mean for him?
Sport, isn't it? Tough luck. Got beat. Disaster. Absolute. I mean, you know, when you talk about legacy, people say, "Oh, does this affect his legacy?" Not at all. If you get beat, does it affect your legacy? That's another question altogether. So yeah, we've got to make sure it doesn't happen and go in there and just serve him up.
The criticism of the fight was loud and clear. Even well-respected figures in boxing openly called it a mockery. Jermaine Franklin, a professional heavyweight, argued that asking Joshua to face Paul under catchweight conditions was reckless and could damage Joshua's legacy. Many in the sport shared the view that the matchup made little sense from a competitive standpoint, raising questions about priorities in modern boxing. Fraser Clark was blunt and straightforward when discussing the matchup. He described it as more of a competitive fight than a mismatch, but he strongly believed that Anthony Joshua would defeat Jake Paul with alarming ease. Clark admitted that he was genuinely concerned for Paul's safety, as the stark differences in size, strength, and punching power could result in serious, potentially career-threatening injuries.
What do you think?
I think he's gonna smash him, you know. I just got a feeling that he's gonna go in there and just pitbull chihuahua situation and finish him.
How dangerous would that be for Jake?
Dangerous, but these lot want to get paid loads of money. You know, this is what is part and parcel that comes with it. The nature of the beast. Look what happened to me. And I'm a fighter, and that can happen. And it's painful, man. It hurts.
Others also highlighted the obvious mismatch. A former Olympic heavyweight champion weighing over 250 pounds facing a relatively untested cruiserweight turned YouTuber. Frank Smith expressed serious concern over the fight, saying that if he were advising Joshua, he would have recommended avoiding Paul entirely. He compared the situation to spectacles like Mike Tyson's high-risk entertainment bouts, where attention-grabbing events take precedence over true competitive matches. According to Smith, boxing increasingly favors such shows, where spectacle often outweighs sport.
No, look, obviously we are in a dangerous sport. We have to accept that, and obviously the people looking after Jake Paul. If I was managing or promoting Jake Paul, would I say this is the right move for Jake Paul? Probably not. Being completely honest with you, but he's put himself in a position. You know, was Jake Paul Mike Tyson a sensible thing to do? To, you know, a 58-year-old man or 60, I'm not sure what Mike is, but was that sensible? Probably not, and I would have said that at the time, but it's the world we live in now. And the reality is a lot of people are going to watch it, but we also at the same time have to make the sport as safe as possible and put everything in place around it to, you know, to ensure that. And that's what the commission, the Florida State Athletic Commission, will be doing, as will the promoters of the event.
Smith explained that the fight came about because Joshua accepted the offer, while Paul positioned himself to seize the opportunity. He acknowledged the extreme risk involved and described Paul as bold, almost to the point of recklessness, for taking on the challenge. Yet Smith also recognized the courage Paul displayed in stepping into the ring, noting that the massive financial reward was undoubtedly a key motivating factor.
We go into the fight, we got offered a proposition to do this fight. Anthony Joshua accepted it. Jake Paul's put himself in a position to take that fight, and that's the reality, Jake Paul. But we all want everything we do in this sport, we want to make it as safe as we possibly can, but we have to accept the risks attached to it.
And this is risky, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it is risky. I think Jake Paul's crazy. I think he's delusional. But respect to him for doing it, and he's getting a load of money.
Many opponents and insiders saw this matchup as setting a dangerous precedent. It signaled that boxing was beginning to prioritize celebrity and marketability over skill, experience, and tradition. Some professionals even foresaw potential controversy. If Paul somehow managed to win, fans might accuse the outcome of being manipulated, further threatening the sport's credibility. Katie Taylor also commented on Jake Paul's entry into professional boxing, noting how he managed to secure high-profile bouts despite his unconventional background. She highlighted that Paul's experience in entertainment helped him navigate the business side of boxing, allowing him to negotiate major fights and lucrative streaming deals. Taylor acknowledged the risks involved, emphasizing that even with his success, Paul faced serious danger when taking on a true heavyweight like Anthony Joshua.
This is crazy, but all credit to Jake Paul for taking this fight.
But this is a risk here for Anthony Joshua than for Jake Paul.
Yeah, I think it is riskier, yeah, because if he doesn't look good, if he gets caught with a shot, this is terrible for boxing. It's terrible for Anthony Joshua, but I just have to have the utmost respect for Jake Paul for taking a fight of this. This is.
Taylor also pointed out the potential downside for Joshua, noting that one mistake or a powerful punch could affect his reputation and standing in boxing. Despite these risks, she praised Paul's courage for stepping into the ring with a top heavyweight, recognizing it as a significant and bold move in the sport.
This is one of the biggest punches in the sport, and I think this is insane that this is happening, but I think it's actually, I don't have any problem with this because I think it's going to bring more attention to boxing.
Paul, for his part, believed he could use his speed, angles, agility, and psychological tactics to level the playing field. Meanwhile, Joshua and his team appeared determined to leave no doubts, training intensely under Usyk's guidance and aiming to finish the fight as efficiently as possible. Nakisa Badarian, co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, pushed back against claims that Paul only targets faded or out-of-shape opponents. She noted that Paul had already faced active and younger fighters, including competitors closer to Joshua's level, making such criticism misleading. Regarding the financial stakes, Badarian pointed out that both men stood to gain immensely from the fight.
Ari, thank you for having me on. Jake has fought older guys, being Mike Tyson, but Jake has fought lots of men Anthony Joshua's age or younger. I think Jake is in a great position to pull off a remarkable upset here.
And how much does each fighter get?
They get a lot of money, as they should, because they're putting on a massive global event.
Regardless of the outcome, the match was destined to leave a mark on boxing. If Joshua dominated and stopped Paul within a few rounds, it would reinforce the traditional hierarchy in the sport, emphasizing pedigree, experience, and raw power. At the same time, it would serve as a reminder that even boxing's elite cannot ignore the growing influence of internet fame and celebrity in the modern era. In the end, the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight represents more than just a clash in the ring. It's a collision of tradition and modern spectacle, skill and showmanship, risk and reward. Whether you see it as a daring challenge or a controversial spectacle, one thing is certain: it has captured the attention of the boxing world like few fights have in recent memory. Stay updated on all the latest news, breakdowns, and expert analysis from this historic matchup. Subscribe now and follow us for every punch, prediction, and reaction from the fight that's shaking the sport to its core.